All right, let's talk about a feeling. A feeling I'm sure you know well. It's that rock-solid, gut-level sense that you are absolutely 100% right. Today, we're going to dig into why that feeling is so powerful and why, a lot of the time, it's also incredibly misleading. We're breaking down what's called the overconfidence bias.
I mean, this feeling is totally universal, right? It's that moment when all the static of doubt just vanishes. You're not just guessing anymore. You know the answer. You know the right way to go. You just know. But that leads to the really big question, doesn't it? Is that feeling of confidence the same thing as actually being accurate? Let's unpack the huge difference between feeling like you're right and, actually being right.
Yeah, that gap between what we feel and what's real, it has a name. Think of it like a mental trap, one our brains fall into all the time. It's what makes us believe we're a whole lot more capable than we actually are. So here's the official definition. At its core, the overconfidence bias is just our tendency to overestimate our own skills, our knowledge, or just how accurate our beliefs are. Put simply, it's our brain's weird habit of letting our confidence grow way, way faster than our actual competence. It's this fundamental mismatch between what we think we know and what we really know.
So where does this thing pop up in real life? Well, it's not just in some high-stakes boardroom or a casino. Oh no, it's woven into our everyday lives. Let's look at a few examples that I bet will feel pretty familiar.
Okay, picture this. You're at a trivia night, or maybe just arguing with a friend about some random fact. You blurt out an answer, just totally, completely convinced you've nailed it. That feeling of certainty, it hits you like a lightning bolt, right? It arrives instantly, long before you've even thought about pulling out your phone to actually, check the facts.
Or what about when it comes to risk? Maybe you've made a similar investment that paid off, or you've driven that same tricky road in a storm and been fine. That past success can give you this inflated sense of control, making you think, I've got this. And that's when you start to seriously underestimate the role that pure, simple chance plays in everything.
And then, of course, there are predictions. Oh, we love to make predictions, don't we? We'll confidently say when a project will be done, who's going to win the election, or even just how a simple conversation is going to play out. And in that moment, our confidence feels totally justified right up until reality shows up and, well, proves us completely wrong.
So what's the deal? Why do our brains do this to us? Why is our default setting this kind of unearned certainty? Well, it turns out our brains are actually wired to find the feeling of confidence super, super rewarding.
Just think about the difference in how these two things feel. Doubt is uncomfortable. It makes you anxious. It's like mental static. But certainty? Certainty feels good. It's comfortable. It's safe. It's rewarding. And you can kind of see why, from an evolutionary standpoint, this might have been useful. Making quick, confident decisions could have been a real survival advantage. So our brain literally gives us a little reward, a little dopamine hit, for feeling certain, because it gets rid of that nagging anxiety, even if that certainty is totally, completely baseless.
Okay, so a little bit of confidence is a good thing for sure, but this unearned, unchecked certainty, that's where things can get dangerous. Let's talk about how this bias can lead to some pretty serious real-world problems.
This is the real fallout. When we get overconfident, we just plain make more mistakes. We take dumb risks, and this is a big one, we stop learning. I mean, why would you learn something new if you think you already know everything, right? We start dismissing valuable feedback and end up with these massive blind spots in our judgment.
And this really just says it all. It's that exact moment when you stop double-checking, when you stop thinking about what could go wrong, that you swing the door wide open for mistakes. Caution really is the antidote here. It's the cure for that misplaced confidence.
All right, so it's a problem. We get it. But here's the good news. We are absolutely not stuck with it. So for this last part, let's talk about how you can actually calibrate your confidence, how you can line it up with reality using a few really practical strategies.
Here are 4 really powerful habits you can build. First, instead of saying, I'm certain, try using probabilities, like I'm about 80% sure. Second, and this is tough, actively go looking for evidence that proves you wrong, not just stuff that proves you right. Third, actually track your predictions. Keep a little journal. And finally, just slow down. Making decisions in a hurry is like pouring gasoline on the fire of overconfidence.
And here's what that tracking your predictions thing actually looks like. It's so simple. You just write down what you think is going to happen, and then later you write down what actually happened. When you do that, you get this really clear, objective look at the gap between your confidence and reality. It's such a simple tool, but it's an incredibly powerful way to see if your confidence needs a little calibration.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. Confidence, it feels powerful. It's easy, it's immediate. But accuracy, that's something that has to be earned. It takes real work. It takes humility, and maybe most importantly, a willingness to admit when you're wrong.
So the big takeaway here isn't to get rid of confidence entirely. Not at all. The goal is to balance it. It's about holding your beliefs just strong enough to be able to act on them, but also loosely enough that you can change your mind when new information comes along. That's the hallmark of really clear thinking.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. As you go about your week, just ask yourself this. Where in my life could a little less certainty actually serve me best? What's one decision, one prediction, or one belief where adding just a little bit of doubt might actually lead to a way better result?